Long before the audience arrives, the work has already begun. Preparation isn't just about vocabulary, it's about reducing cognitive load so you can focus on the people you're there to serve. Every interpreting assignment is different, and every assignment requires different preparation. Although today's examples come from a trilingual interpreting assignment, many of these preparation strategies apply regardless of the languages you interpret. This is the process I use before an assignment begins. Every interpreting assignment is different. So the first thing I want to understand is the assignment itself. Before I begin researching vocabulary or preparing notes, I ask some basic questions. What type of assignment is this? Is it medical, educational, a conference, a community event? Then I start filling in the details. Who will be attending? Which languages will be used? Who is using which language? How long will the assignment last? Will I be working with a team interpreter? Will microphones, headsets, or other equipment be involved? These questions shape everything that comes next. The better I understand the assignment, the more intentional I can be with my preparation. I don't ask these questions because I want every detail. I ask them because every answer helps reduce uncertainty. For example, a 1 hour presentation requires a different preparation strategy than an 8 hour conference. Knowing who the presenters are may allow me to review previous presentations or published materials. Even knowing whether I'll be standing on a stage or sitting at a conference table affects how I prepare. Research is one of the biggest parts of my preparation. And notice, I didn't say I try to learn every possible vocabulary word. That's simply not realistic. Instead, I focus on understanding the context. Who is speaking? What organization is hosting the event? What topics are likely to come up? What terminology appears repeatedly? What acronyms should I recognize immediately? The goal isn't memorization. The goal is familiarity. Not everything deserves the same amount of preparation. Some information is easy to interpret in the moment. Other information has a much higher cognitive demand. Long names, technical terminology, statistics, unique concepts. Those are the areas where preparation pays the biggest dividends. Preparation is really about deciding where your time will have the greatest impact. After researching, I begin organizing my notes. These aren't scripts, they're not paragraphs, they're quick reference tools. I may write names, numbers, specialized vocabulary, or reminders about concepts I don't want to overlook. The purpose of the notes isn't to replace my memory, it's to support my working memory while I'm interpreting. When interpreting, I don't have time to search through pages of information. My notes need to be easy to locate with a quick glance. If I make them too detailed, they actually become harder to use. Simple notes are often the most effective notes. One part of my preparation isn't on paper at all. Once I've built my notes, I read them aloud. I practice names, technical vocabulary, acronyms, and phrases I expect to use during the assignment. I've learned that recognizing a word isn't always the same as producing it smoothly. If I haven't actually said a term out loud beforehand, there's a greater chance that I'll hesitate when I need it during the assignment. Reading my notes aloud gives me an opportunity to identify words that feel awkward, refine my pronunciation, and become more comfortable producing the language before the assignment begins. You could think of it as warming up the language. like a musician warms up before a performance. Preparation doesn't stop with research. I also prepare my physical workspace. I make sure I know where I'll be sitting or standing. I check microphones, cameras, lighting if applicable, and any equipment I'll be using. I organize my notes where I can access them easily. I make sure I have water and anything else I'll need during the assignment. The goal is to eliminate small distractions before they become problems. One of the biggest misconceptions about preparation is that we're trying to eliminate every unknown. That's impossible. There will always be surprises. Preparation isn't about knowing everything. It's about reducing enough uncertainty that we have more mental energy available for the communication happening in front of us. That's what preparation really provides. Preparation doesn't end once the assignment begins. I keep my preparation notes nearby, but I don't rely on them. They're there as a reference. If I need to quickly confirm a technical term, a presenter's name, or an acronym, I also keep a pen and a notepad with me throughout the assignment. As new terminology, names, or important information comes up, I'll jot it down. Those notes can support me later in the assignment and can also be helpful when working with my team interpreter. The goal isn't to read from my notes. The goal is to stay engaged with the communication while having resources available when they're genuinely helpful. Throughout the assignment, I'm still learning, updating my understanding, and adapting to new information. Preparation is an ongoing process from beginning to end. Usually, by this point in the assignment, I have a few different kinds of notes working for me. I have my preparation notes from before the assignment, which include things like names, terminology, and acronyms. I keep those nearby as reference. But again, I don't rely on them while interpreting. And again, I have a pen and notepad with me, so I capture new information as the assignment unfolds. That's my second set of notes. Those are working notes. They might include new terminology, numbers, or even reminders that come up in the moment. Although today's examples come from a trilingual interpreting assignment, these preparation strategies apply across many interpreting settings. Whether you're working in sign language, English, Spanish, another spoken language, in multilingual environments, thoughtful preparation helps reduce cognitive load and allows you to focus on what matters most, which is the people and the communication happening between them.